Now, ordinarily, I don't like episodes of The Simpsons where we have different narratives, kind of an anthology setup, or clip shows and things, but with Simpsons Tall Tales, I actually quite like this. And part of me wonders if this is because I was already aware of the various stories that are told, so I had other references to draw upon, I could compare it to other versions I'd seen. I don't know, but either way, I found it to be actually quite alright. Simpsons Tall Tales is the 21st episode of the 12th season, directed by Jim Reardon and Bob Anderson. 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, which for The Simpsons is a very low rating, so it actually seems like it's not that popular. The setup is taking place primarily on a train ride that the Simpsons family are taking, and they meet this homeless man who tells them various tales while they're on this train ride. And straight away, when I kind of realised that was what was happening, I thought, this isn't going to really be very interesting for me. But actually, I quite liked it. And again, I think that's because I was aware of the three stories, so I had other reference points. The first one is Paul Bunyan, which Homer plays. Homer takes the role of Paul Bunyan, who is a giant individual. And actually, I don't want to tell you too much about it. I don't want to spoil too much of the narrative in case you're not aware of who Paul Bunyan is, but I've seen various cartoons about Paul Bunyan. I've reviewed various cartoons about Paul Bunyan. So for me, it was really interesting to see kind of what they'd focus on, what roles the characters would play. For example, Marge is in this one. It's definitely an interesting version. I wouldn't say it's completely accurate, at least compared to other adaptations I've seen, which I am believing to be more accurate of the tale. But certainly it was interesting. The third one is Connie Appleseed, which is, of course, the female version of Johnny Appleseed, and Connie is played by Lisa. Again, I'd seen various Johnny Appleseed cartoons, and this one, again, is maybe not as accurate as some of the others, but I quite liked it. Johnny Appleseed is so called because of his discovery of apples. He didn't discover the apple, but it focuses on apples, and I thought it was quite interesting, definitely quite fun. I wouldn't have predicted they'd put Lisa in the role, so it was quite fascinating, but I think it worked quite well. But the reason they put Lisa in that role is because the third one is Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, which is Bart and Nelson, and that's why they didn't use Bart as Johnny Appleseed. And then the third one, is an adaptation of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. I thought this one in particular was very well animated. I thought there was a really great attention to detail, and it was a very well told story. I became, invested in the tale and wanted to kind of find out what would happen to Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. So that part of it I thought worked very well as well. The narrative structure worked well. We would occasionally be pulled out of the tale to see what was happening on the train. That aspect of it I thought worked really well. It was very well developed, very well animated. I actually liked it significantly more than I thought, and I'm surprised to be saying that, because as I said, usually I cannot abide these kinds of episodes. But Simpsons Tall Tales worked very well, and it's one that I would actually actively seek out and choose to watch. So clearly I rate it more highly than most people. I'd love to know what you think of it. For me, surprisingly, I really rather enjoyed it, and it might actually be a highlight for me from season 12.